I know that SDI has brought together an extraordinary group of people. This year we actually get to, those of us who can meet in person. I'm looking forward to being there in person, and then we'll have our online friends. So just really looking forward to welcoming folks and being welcomed into the conference at SDI this year. It's going to be extraordinary. So in terms of spiritual companionship, I just think, one, it's something that I think would be really serve us to look at how do we do this work for ourselves if we do want to be in that role. And then also, how do we open up to the spiritual companionship that can allow that process to happen from our spirit helpers, from our saints, from our archangels, from our, even from this Mother Earth. How can we find the different ways to allow that process? So I'm kind of on fire with this subject right now. I say I'm a little bit of an evangelist, and so I'm really looking forward to our process and to being able to see what the different traditions have to offer on this subject. I've been saying in the speaking that I've been doing that we are a traumatized species at this point, multi-generational, and so, as I went in to do this work for myself, I could see what was happening in my very interpersonal reactions with specific interactions with specific individuals. But then I could see, in my case as an Indigenous person, the elders, the adults that were around me, what they had been through the residential boarding schools. And then how those residential boarding schools got laid down, what was the climate of humanity, what was the consciousness, the thinking of humanity that would allow something like that to take place, to have a whole way of being superimposed upon an entire continent, and then just the negation of our very presence as human beings. So, the layers of trauma that I look at just for myself are so deep. And so, what I come to realize is truly, if we are able to hold each other, to really go in and express the feelings that we need to feel, and to locate it in the body, that's a part of it. What the amazing part about it is that the mental aspects, which we're so fond of, and the storytelling aspects, which we tend to stay in around our traumas, end up not necessarily being the most effective way to go about it. The story ends up being not so important on one level, and I think that might be good for us at this point, because of the dogmas that are, the constant black and white dichotomy way. It locks things up in our minds in those stories. So myself, I'll be looking more in the future now toward how do we hold space for each other to just allow, the soft animal body to release, and I know that now that I've done a lot of release in those 5 weeks, my capacity is shifted. My baseline is different. My place of homeostasis is different at this point, and so my capacity has changed radically. So the kind of companion that I could be spiritually, honestly, the world is kind of wide open for me right now. I'm not sure how I'll move forward after this deep work, but I know it's going to be coming from a very different place.